Ladies and gentlemen, what it do? I am your host, Young Bo Easy, and I would like to welcome you to the show. You are now tuned in to Knicks and Dimes. All right, listen, man. Today we done improved to 7-4 after we got a dub over the Philadelphia 76ers, Atlantic Division rivals. Definitely happy about that. That's one of the teams that I'm not particularly a fan of. Um, Gonna be 100% transparent with you, man. I was a little bit distracted during that first quarter, parts of the second, but like mid to second, I saw what was going on. And for the most part, just peaks of the first quarter. But I'm still gonna give you the rundown. It's not gonna be exactly in depth like I do every quarter, typically every show. But I'm gonna go through it, how I feel best this time around. All right, score was 103-96. Of course, in our favor, we done took the dub this time. Wasn't the prettiest, but a win is a win. Dub is a dub. Uh, man, Knicks 15-10 for R.J. Barrett, 4 assists on top of that. Also had a block. 31-12 and 3, one steal for Julius Randle. Granted, it was on 25 shots, but it was just one of those type of games where the buckets weren't coming as easily as we had to work hard for buckets pretty much, and that was all around. Um, 11-6 for Fournier, 7-8 for Taj Gibson, 10 points for Quickly with 3 assists. Not too many attractive stats today. Um, 14, 4, and 6 on 4-10 shooting for Seth Curry. 19, 3, and 2 for Korkmaz. I was really impressed with him today. 16, 9, and 5 for Tyrese Maxey. 14 and 25 for Drummond. 25 rebounds, that is. 15 points for George Niang and 10 points for Shake Milton. Man, pretty much, man. I saw first quarter, and for some of that second quarter too. Also, first quarter we had 11 fast break points. Um, it's cool. I'm good with that. We winning. We had at a certain point of this game we had a 19-point lead. But this is a it's a game of run. And it's a league of runs. Teams could easily make a run like that and cut your lead down to nothing. Um, but 11 fast break points first quarter. Uh, I like the way we were playing. It was the ball was moving. We were in transition, so it's hard to really, especially when it's like a 3-on-1 situation, 3-on-2 situation. It's really hard to defend anybody in the league, let alone, I mean, us. I'm not gonna say we're the best that's in transition, but it's hard to guard those things. And I like the way it was going down, but my problem is I still don't feel like it was 100% that fire. I just feel like we were just in transition and getting buckets. It's not to take away from what we were doing. I just don't feel like we still had that intensity that I was like specifically speaking on last game or that I've even mentioned previous times. I'm just not seeing that intensity. And that went on even for the whole game. To be honest, I haven't seen that intensity. Um, but RJ definitely felt away about sitting a lot of last game in that fourth quarter because he came in and he did his job though. 10 points in that first half was, what I'm saying. He finished off with 15 and 10. I was saying. Uh, that's good. He had a little 20-point streak, snapped it. Last game he was single digits, and then yesterday he comes back with the 15. I mean today he comes back with the 15 and 10. So that's a good look. Not bad at all, man. I'm worried about Noel. Noel got hurt pretty much halftime, or a little bit as soon as the third quarter started. Um, kind of worried about him, especially this was a game that we didn't have Mitch, and I failed to mention that they didn't have Embiid, nor Do they have Harris, and they're missing a couple other players too. So this is a pretty beaten up 76ers squad. At the end of the day, this is what happens in the league. Um, I'm not going to be sitting and complaining for them because nobody would be doing it, vice versa. So uh, a dub is a dub. All right, so but starting that second half, man, it was just like stagnant shots again. We couldn't hit shots. Like we're still sometimes going through these little snags, and I'm not sure if it's if still want to blame, the chemistry, that we're building with the team or anything like that. I'm not. I don't think I want to do that anymore. I think we're at a good enough point. Not that you figure everything out in 10 games or 10 to 12 games, but yeah, I would think I just don't like what I'm seeing at 100%. That's pretty much the gist of it. Um, it seemed like they wanted it more, man. The quarter was 14 to 25. Like we only scored 14 points in the whole quarter to their 25 points. Luckily, we still went into the fourth with the lead because we were up. But they just seemed to want it more. They were beating us to boards, and we had no Noel. It was Taj Gibson in there, which I felt like we could have competed for a little more rebounds. We were getting no boards, so if the shot went up, it was definitely going to them. To get offensive boards, it was definitely not happening. And I felt like we could have maybe changed that a little bit if Noel was in there. Uh, but when Noel hurt, we had to literally like muscle this one out, like in, in every way possible. It didn't look the greatest, but we got it done. Drummond eating the boards up, like I said, 25 rebounds. I'm hoping that Noel's problem is not something that's going to linger for the long term. And with Mitch not playing today, hopefully that's not something. I don't. I think it was just one of those days. But you want both of them on the floor because our defense with them on the floor is just you can't buy. I like you can't buy the stuff that they do. And they don't pop up on the stat sheet like crazy, but you just can't buy the stuff that they do. Like that effort is second to none, and it's definitely appreciated for sure. Um, Yesterday, I had an issue with what he did, what Tibbs did, rotation wise in the fourth quarter, and ironically today, I liked what he did in the fourth quarter. Um, Derrick Rose was struggling. Granted, off a back to back, sometimes some players get gassed. Derrick Rose wasn't having one of those days today. Um, so went through Kemba and Fournier finished the game, which isn't something that we've been seeing a lot since the season started. So it was mostly the starters and Taj Gibson to finish the game. So that change in the rotation was something that I definitely liked. I think the only person that was out there was quickly, and even no, even that, yeah, quickly got out too after a while. Quickly was in there. Quickly finally got a rhythm. These back-to-back games, he's finally getting in the rhythm. Hopefully, this is that spark that we've been looking for because I personally feel like besides Derrick Rose, he could be that scoring leader of the second unit. Because he's a firecracker, man. It's just simple as that. Like he's one of those dudes that could help you out with the 10 to 12 points, or he could go for 30 off the bench. He's one of those guys. So we want his shooting touch to be there, and it seems like these last 2 games he's been getting more in the rhythm. So that's a good look. Definitely something I'm happy to see. Um, we had 13 3-point field goals, which isn't so bad, and 25 assists as a team. That's something that's really, really nice. I definitely like that. Uh, Moving the ball. I don't know. I feel like sometimes I wonder, like, do the guys watch film? It's easier to just sit here and talk about it, but like, we're a different animal when the ball is moving. Like when the ball is just moving freely and it's just tapping, 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 tapping. the shot goes up. It's an easy shot. People are penetrating to the basket and things of that nature. We are a much better team. I feel like we just flow much better, and I feel like the bench does that more than the starters. But then sometimes it gets stagnant. Drew's got to get his ISO thing going on and things of that nature, or something like that. Or Derrick Rose got to do his thing too. I know the ball needs to slow down, but that thing just looks. Everything just moves better when the ball is moving and we're getting assists like this. So 25 assists, man, that's definitely something that I'm happy to see this time around. Uh, a little more turnovers than we would have liked. We had 13 turnovers, but ended the fourth quarter 31-27 and was able to pull the game out 103-96, a 7-point win. Like I said for the third time now, a win is a win, a dub is a dub. And Atlantic Division, I'm definitely happy about it. 2-0 against Philly. Um, they weren't as beaten up the last time compared to this time, but a win is a win. A dub is a dub. Simple as that. Um, Next, we got the Milwaukee Bucks. I think they'll be a little more ready for us than they were in the last game. And we definitely need Mitch and Nerlens because that was the great matchup that we had with them. I felt like that was the reason we were able to match up with them. And everybody knows if you want to have a chance against Giannis, you got to build that wall. So that wall, man, we need Nerlens, we need Mitch there to have more of an effect against him because he's definitely going to come back with it. They're still missing Middleton, but I'm pretty sure the rest of that team is going to be able to, be fired up and want to get that dub because I don't think they really like the way that last one ended. But I think after Giannis, man, with no Middleton, it's just, all those role players. Granted, you got to give respect to Drew Holiday. But I think if we could bring that intensity that we played with, and we didn't shoot great from the three, but we attacked the basket and we got to the free throw line and we just moved the ball and it was free. Like we played a little more freely. So if we could get that energy back and we at the Garden, we could have another victory against the Bucks. So hopefully Wednesday I'm coming back with a report saying that it's a dub against the Bucks, man, because that would definitely be a good look to get two, dubs against the champs. I know it's regular season, but uh, you wonder how. I think after this win, I want to see now how we fare against a team like a Brooklyn, because that's those type of teams that will take us to the next level and seeing how we compete with those teams. Those are the teams that we know for sure are definitely going to be competing at the end of the season. So we want to see how we match up with them. Granted, it's regular season and it doesn't always show the exact picture, but we just need to see where we level up right now so we could start making those tweaks and get ready for later in the season and then the playoffs. All right, so hopefully Wednesday I'll be back here talking about a W. And that's it for today's show, man. Really hope you was rocking with me on this one, man. As usual, I love bringing down these games for y'all. And I'll be back on Wednesday, man. Love, gratitude, positive attitude. I'll be rocking.